guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about new age live action Nickelodeon and basically how it sucks now since all the old Dan Schneider shows have gone off the air. Nickelodeon has lost its creativity and it's just become a bunch of cringe. And the examples that I'm going to use today are Danger Force, Young Dylan, and Group Chat with Annie and Jaden. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So first off, I want to start off with Danger Force. So Danger Force was the spin-off of the popular show Henry Danger that aired from fall 2014 to spring 2020. Now, one thing you should know is that Danger Force is not the first spin-off of Henry Danger. The first one was an animated series called The Adventures of Kid Danger, and then Danger Force came after the final episodes of Henry Danger. So this show is basically revolves around 4 kids: Bose, Miles, Mika, and Choppa. So these kids are introduced in the final episodes of Henry Danger, with Choppa being in Game of Phones. As a girl that lost her phone, some criminals took her phone. Then you have Miles and Mika that got introduced in the episode Escape Room that Captain Man and Kid Danger got put with. And then you have Bose being introduced in the beginning of the end as a random kid that Jerks put in there. Now, in the finale of Henry Danger, The Fate of Danger Part 2, this specific device, I can't remember the name, but if I remember the name, I'll put it in here later, gave these kids powers, with Bose's being telekinesis, Choppa's being electricity, and Miles being teleportation. Mika is the only one that doesn't have powers until the show itself premieres a week after the Henry Danger finale. So in the final scene of Henry Danger itself, you see Ray Manchester, aka Captain Man, and you see Schwaz. They open up a school called the Swellview Academy for the Gifted, or SWAG for short, to teach the kids on how to be superheroes, basically like what happened with Kid Danger. And that goes into the show Danger Force. Alright, so the show premiered about a week after the finale in spring 2020, and the show is set to have 13 episodes, and so far 6 episodes have premiered. So I'm gonna go into Google here and see if I can get any extra details on what happened in the show. So I'm gonna read the plot of the show here. 4 kids, Choppa, Miles, Mika, and Bose, are recruited to attend Swellview Academy for the Gifted, or SWAG for short, a school conceived by Captain Man and brought to life by Schwaz after having been mutated in the fight to save Swellview. While there, the kids must learn to harness their frequently troublesome and sometimes uncontrollable superpowers as they begin to fight crime, despite the dangerous circumstances of their new lives. The superheroes must keep their real identities from from both their families and villains who are out to destroy them. I get obviously keeping your identity from the villains because only a dummy would tell a villain their identity, but something about them not being able to tell their kid, sorry, something about not being able to tell their parents is kind of iffy for me. Even though they had Henry do the same thing, it's like, oh well. Now let's get into the characters. One thing I did not like about the show is how they dumbed down Ray. Like, he used to be this fun, lovable character that at least acted like a man, but in the show he just acts like a literal child that lets these little kids, these amateurs, these newbies that he just met not too long ago, walk all over him. And another thing I don't like is, this is just a flaw in the writing, but in the finale of Henry Danger, you see the team had to give up a lot just to put Drex back in prison. So Kid Danger had to sacrifice himself because of the nonsense Drex had did in the finale, and Jasper ended up droning Drex to Swellview Prison. And what happened in the first episode was basically the kids are trying to get adjusted to their new powers, and they were just really curious on where Captain Man was going. He was trying to fight crime, but basically the kids are like, oh my god, we want to go, yes, we want to go fight crime with you. And I'm just like, calm down, Jamal. You guys just got your powers. You have no experience. What are you going out for? And that basically just takes a turn for the worse, because as I mentioned earlier, Mika does not have powers, but the other three kids do. And when she activates her powers, which turn out to be Sonic Screams, it does more harm than good, and she lets out the most dangerous villains that you saw in Henry Danger, like Dr. Maniac, Frankini, Time Jerker, etc. We don't know if Drex got out, but most likely he did. All because these kids wanted to be nosy. Then the next episode is basically about these kids get made fun of by the news network, and it turns out that Choppa's new superhero name is Volt. Then you have Bose's being Brainstorm, Mika's being Shout Out, and then you have Miles being AWOL. But seriously, AWOL, Volt, Brainstorm, Shout Out. They could have picked better names since they had all that mouth for what they were being called. Alright, what else can I find from here? So I'm about to look up Choppa here. Let's get into characters by characters. But let me just go off these descriptions by the top of my head. So Choppa is the girl that had been complaining about how she hasn't got a phone since it was stolen. But in the show, she's very, I guess she's portrayed to be the tough one, kind of like the Sam Puckett of the group, when she really isn't. It was really a veil. She's just loud, obnoxious, rude, and violent. I don't remember what episode it was, but she slapped Ray for what? And I think she wanted to do something bad to two exchange students that came to their school. She wanted to hurt these kids for no reason. Um and basically they tried to play her off as the Piper of the show, but it failed miserably. Cause when she yells, it's not funny. It's just pure annoying. And we're supposed to give sympathy to her because she lost her phone, but she's being rude to everybody else. Even on the news, they're like, oh my god, phonelessness and Swellview, oh, that's so bad. But that doesn't give her an excuse to treat everybody like crap. So, Mika is basically kind of like the Charlotte of the group, but way, way more annoying. She's basically like, I know better than all of you because I'm smart. All of you are dumb, but not in a funny way. Basically, just like in a narcissistic way. They try to play Miles as that kind of cool kid of the group, kind of like Henry of the group, but it's just that awkward, nerdy kid, I guess. Like, there's nothing that really stands out about him. I remember in this one episode where Chop had a crush on somebody, and Miles is like, oh, it has to be me that she has a crush on. Boy, where? Boy, where? And then Bose is basically like that regular dumb boy that happens to be cute. Come on, Nickelodeon, you're still dragging that stereotype out in 2020. And then the show in general, I thought that since Jace and Cooper were going to be producers on the show, it would be good. But no, the scripts are weak, the plots are weak. And the acting, none of these kids have chemistry. Like they're just the only thing that binds them together is basically they all got their powers from one machine. It's not like they went to the same school like Jasper, Charlotte, and Henry did, but they were just pieced together. And I don't know whose choice it was for the casting, but it just doesn't seem like they get along well for it to be believable on the screen. So basically, I am just going to read some more reviews. These reviews are from IMDb, by the way, about what they think of the show. Anything that I miss out, I will read in these reviews. Danger Force is rated a 4.3 out of 10. By the way, that should pretty much sum up how bad the show is. Okay, so let me just take some reviews from here. So this person rated the show a 2 out of 10. And it says, I used to love Henry Danger and it gave me a lot of laughs when I was younger, but I would not recommend it to any other Henry Danger fans. These kids do not know how to act at all. And this part is mostly my opinion, but that little girl with the pixie cut just gets on my nerves. She yells at everyone way too much. It's not her fault because she was told to do this. It's similar to the younger Piper. Piper got easier to watch the more she stopped shouting. So if that girl stop shouting so much, I could see her being less annoying. Also, Nick needs to slow down with the laugh tracks. Literally every 5 seconds you hear one. That's also something I mentioned to say. These kids could literally say, "Hi, how are you?" And you will hear a laugh track for 10 seconds straight. And you're just sitting at the TV like, am I supposed to laugh? You're not, because these jokes are bad, and then they just use a bunch of outdated references and dances. It's just not good. So I'm gonna read another one here. Most of the dialogue is inaudible because of the extremely loud laugh track. What you can hear is nonsense. No one has acting talent. Even the youngest demographic will find it annoying. And this is coming, and as a 14-year-old, I agree with this review. Okay. Another one. I liked Henry Danger, but this is horrible. I agree with another review. These kids are really bad actors and should be canceled. The storyline is just awful, and the kids are really bad actors. Danger Force is the worst TV show ever. Nothing makes sense at all. Honestly, I think for the legacy of Henry Danger, this show should not go past this first season, because if you're gonna have these kids that can't act, have no chemistry together, and none of the characters are likable besides Schwoz, it's completely tarnishing the legacy. Even when Henry came back in the last episode that aired 2 months ago, the show, Henry could not revive that show. He just could not. And the fact that the only time these kids can bond is to make fun of Captain Man. Like, what have you guys done to be making fun of Ray? Y'all don't work on any technology. Y'all don't help find any villains. Y'all don't fight any villains. But you know what y'all do? Cause trouble, cause headaches. So anyways, that is the end of this little mini series. The next video I'm gonna do is on Young Dylan. The following video after Young Dylan will be group chat. And make sure you guys follow me on the social media platforms. I have in the outro, and the link to my last video is in the description. Subscribe, and yeah, bye guys.